tonight on CTV News at 11:30. A controversial piece of legislation gets debated at Queen's Park.
They had a number of recommendations, binding recommendations that they had to fulfill.
The Minister of Education says if passed, the Near North School Board could be one of the first where he steps in. Plus, work is underway to potentially change or move the men's shelter.
Any movement of the shelter is going to take very careful planning and consultation.
With the Heart Hub now open, we'll have more on what that means in the Sioux. And the North Bay YMCA hands out peace medals, recognizing those building kinder, safer, and more inclusive communities.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. A controversial piece of legislation got its time at debate today in Queen's Park. Bill 33 would give the province powers to step in and take over school boards. The Minister of Education, Paul Calandra, said the Near North District School Board would be among the first boards he'll be looking at if Bill 33 passes tomorrow.
They had a number of recommendations, binding recommendations that they had to fulfill. I'm expecting a report back from the ministry with respect to have they fulfilled any of those recommendations. I highly doubt it, given what I'm hearing from the board and their continued pushback on some of those things. They said fulfill those binding recommendations. If not, then I'm going to step in and assume responsibility for that.
Well, the board did not speak on the minister's comments today. The board released a statement on the Ontario Privacy Commissioner's report on a cyber attack of the board's third-party student information system, PowerSchool, last December. In a written statement, the board said they reviewed the Information and Privacy Commissioner's final report, and they appreciate that the, quote, IPC confirmed that our notification efforts after the incident were proper, adding they are taking the recommendations to heart, and PowerSchool has committed to appropriately strengthening its security measures, and we will ensure this takes place. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the latest now on Bill 33 and what it could mean for school boards across the province.
I recognize the member.
This is the last round of debate on the controversial Bill 33.
They think they can ram it through under the cover of darkness with very little debate.
Something opposition parties say has been a pattern.
The concentration of power at Queen's Park and the erosion of local democratic voices.
The bill fast-tracked, skipping over committee hearings and protracted debate. Educators say it's a sign.
There's something wrong here. There's something nasty taking place.
The legislation forces boards to take on school resource programs if their local police service offers one, and make it easier for the Minister of Education to take the reins of boards, something Paul Calandra has already done 5 times.
The ministry needs to have more authority to step into school boards that have gone off the rails. We have more than enough examples of that.
While Calandra insists he doesn't have any immediate takeover plans when the bill passes, he is keeping an eye on the Near North District School Board.
I don't think the minister should have to wait till the board is completely falling apart before he or she steps in.
Educators insist Bill 33 isn't about helping kids.
It is about silencing parents and local communities who know our schools best.
Bill 33 is a distraction from the conditions that exist in our schools today.
Conditions that can be rough for teachers and students.
Chronic underfunding, a crisis in understaffing, overcrowded classrooms, and workers and students facing daily violence with too few supports.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A serious crash closed Highway 11B in Coleman Township, just south of Timiskaming Shores, for the better part of the day. The highway reopened around the dinner hour. It had been closed after a single vehicle crash around 8 this morning near Bass Lake Road. The driver suffered serious injuries and was rushed to hospital. Anyone with information is asked to call OPP. We're learning more about that heavy police presence on Manitoulin Island yesterday. Provincial police saying they were called in by the MNR after investigating a person believed to be in possession of a firearm in Asiganak Township. The individual barricaded themselves in the Bidwell and Pine Lake Roads area from approximately 2:30 yesterday afternoon until 6 p.m. A 39-year-old has been taken into police custody and charged. With the Liberal government narrowly surviving last night's confidence vote after MPs passed the federal budget, the union representing thousands of public servants says it's expecting to learn more about layoffs in the near future.
We haven't heard any new information. The budget just passed. We expect that our members would be notified by their managers shortly.
The government passed its budget by a vote of 170 to 168 in the House of Commons last night. It includes a plan to reduce the size of the federal public service by 28,000 jobs by 2029 through cuts, attrition, and early retirements. The North Bay Police Service has a new wellness coordinator. She was brought on board back in May. And as CTV's Eric Tashner tells us, she brings a wealth of knowledge from her 20 years as a social worker.
Julie Lavictoire, North Bay Police's wellness coordinator, has been busy over the last several months, gauging staff morale.
When I check in with them, they're a lot more quick to respond and kind of let me know, well, I'm not doing so good or I'm doing a lot better today.
Lavictoire presented findings from the peer support team to the police board, including the success of in-house training for 911 operators and dispatchers on managing occupational stress and trauma. She's been meeting with both sworn and civilian members, helping them with any kind of health and wellness challenges they're facing.
Police personnel are kind of notoriously guarded and a little bit less trusting than some of my other previous clients that I was used to. So it's just to kind of build trust with them.
When Chief Daryl Longworth was sworn in, 27 employees were off work for various personal reasons, including to treat work-related physical injuries, mental health, and PTSD battles. Since then, some staff have retired and 4 members have returned.
We're currently speaking with a number of other individuals who are interested in coming back to work, and we're just working with their treatment providers and WSIB and the member to make sure their transition back to work is seamless.
A Canadian study finds, on average, most people experience 8 to 10 traumatic events in their life, compared to 800 to 1,000 traumatic events police experience in their career.
We have an organization that is going to wrap around you and support you.
Recognizing the day-to-day pressures of being a police officer with the variety of calls for help, Longworth stresses the need to keep his team healthy and motivated.
If we keep them feeling like they're valued, like what they do makes a difference, and that people actually care about what they do, they're going to go out and look after the community and take care of the community's needs.
Lavictoire is looking at implementing some new changes regarding health and wellness and plans to bring forward further information to the police board. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Meantime, the service is preparing to reintroduce their auxiliary member program again next spring. At the police board meeting this morning, a staff sergeant explained a successful group of applicants will be completing a fitness test and will undergo training in the new year. The auxiliary program is a group of volunteers who assist police with public safety promotions and community events, and when needed can assist officers with emergency situations, traffic, and crowd control. If all goes well, the program will relaunch in March.
It's just an added resource, and I think it's a good one more step that we can engage the community and members of the community and in the services that we provide the community.
Chief Longworth adds several officers actually go through the auxiliary program and use it as a stepping stone to join the police agency full-time. In Timmins, more than $230,000 is going to police for a new mental health initiative. The province announcing the funding today, which will support a 2-year pilot project that will allow officers to work with trained crisis workers to assist on calls where people are experiencing a mental health related crisis. Work is underway to either change or even move Sault Ste. Marie's men's shelter. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has details.
With last month's opening of the Sault's Heart Hub, it was known that the low-barrier men's shelter would need to move. The district social services board oversees the shelter, and officials say the relocation will not be decided on hastily.
Any movement of the shelter is going to take very careful planning and consultation, and we don't foresee that happening for 12, 18, 24 months.
In the meantime, DSAB is slowly transitioning to a high-barrier shelter to comply with the Heart Hub's funding parameters, meaning more strict rules, including sobriety. The added supports coming to the community could also impact what the board does long-term.
With the Heart Hub model, we're actually seeing upwards of 80 new FTE positions come into the system. So again, my hope is that with the addition of the FTEs, with the addition of the funds that are coming through the model, we actually lower the usage of the low barrier shelter.
Pagnucco says the board has looked into at least 35 locations to move the low barrier shelter. While nothing has been decided on, they know that once the current shelter becomes high barrier, there will still be a need to help those who aren't able to comply.
The reality is, if we don't have a low barrier shelter, people will find other places to go. So we need to ensure that those resources are available in the community so we can at least try to assist those in need and ensure that they're going to the proper place for help.
DSAB officials add that the concerns that neighbors of the shelter have voiced will be considered when looking for its new home. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The North Bay YMCA handed out peace medals today, recognizing a local woman and youth who are building kinder, safer, and more inclusive communities. The individual peace medal was awarded to Sue Simmons, a real estate broker, for her work with Grace's Boutique, which provides women at shelters with clothing and personal care items during times of transition. And the group peace medal was awarded to Bears Who Care from St. Joseph's Schollard Hall. For 27 years, students have dedicated their time outside of school hours to raise money to help families and health causes. Congratulations to all. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, look at the current conditions. And it is a chilly one out there. Take a look at that Chapleau, minus 15. Yikes. Minus 9 in Sudbury, not much better. Minus 9 in Wawa. We're seeing lots of cloud cover in Sault Ste. Marie and Kapuskasing, particularly in through Timmins and the Tri-Cities. We'll have a little bit of clouds popping in and around along the Georgian Bay Coast and Parry Sound. We'll have details coming up in a moment.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, the Santa Claus Watch is underway in northeastern Ontario. We've got a couple of parades coming up on Saturday in Sault Ste. Marie and Sudbury, so we have to keep a close eye on the conditions. And of course, the temperatures for the big watch Saturday evening, just a couple of days away. Forecast radar right now looks like a half decent day with some sunshine in the forecast for at least a day. Then we've got some sleet arriving. As you can see, a system from the U.S. Midwest and of course originating in Saskatchewan, continuing right through into Manitoba. Then northeastern Ontario will bring a combination of pretty well everything in sleet, showers and flurries. How about those numbers now for Sudbury Nickel Belt? Mainly sunny tomorrow at 1. Here we go with the chance of sleet for a couple of days. 4 and 2 your daytime highs. Saturday some sunshine okay during the day. Chance of showers or flurries at night for the Santa Claus Parade. Sunday chance of sleet. More of the same Monday. Daytime highs at 4 and 3. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, here we go, mainly cloudy tomorrow at 4. Chance of sleet, well, 60% Thursday, Friday, dropping down to 30% on Saturday for the Sioux Parade. And again, that trend will continue into the evening. The chance of flurries or showers Saturday night, daytime high of 3. Sunday, more sleet, and that trend continues into Monday as well. Daytime highs of 4 degrees. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, sun and cloud for tomorrow at -1. 3 degrees Thursday, chance of sleet, chance of flurries on Friday at 1. -2 Saturday, cloud cover. Sunday and Monday, chance of flurries both days at 30%. Your highs 2 and 1 degree. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sunshine tomorrow -1. Chance of sleet on Thursday at 3. Chance of flurries Friday at 60%. 2 degrees your daytime high. Cloud cover Saturday at 1. Chance of flurries Sunday. Chance of sleet Monday. Daytime highs around 2 degrees, and normally you should be sitting at around 0 for this time of the year. North Bay, West Nipissing, -1 tomorrow, sunshine. Thursday, Friday, chance of sleet at 60%, 5 and 4 your daytime highs. Saturday, +1 sunshine, chance of sleet Sunday and Monday, daytime highs at 4 and 3. Those temperatures just slightly above normal, so a little bit of change in the forecast. Ian Campbell coming up just in time for the Santa Claus parades in Sudbury and Sault Ste. Marie. Back to you on the desk.
I'll have to bundle up. Thanks, Rick. Well, fewer snowbirds say they'll be heading south this winter, with many looking to spend the season overseas instead. An online poll from Snowbird Advisor shows a 15% drop in the number of Canadians planning to head stateside. Meanwhile, the number of residents planning to travel to Mexico, Spain, or another warm destination has nearly doubled. More than half of people surveyed said while they are skipping a trip to the U.S. this year, they would consider returning in the future. It's a conversation many put off, but one of the most crucial talks to have. Next week, a free workshop is inviting residents in Sudbury to take control of their future healthcare decisions through advanced care planning. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
Maison McCullough Hospice is gearing up for the third installment of its Dying Well series with a focus on advanced care planning.
Families that are coming in and patients that are coming in a state of crisis, and they're having to make decisions on the fly when they're emotionally disturbed. And what we want is to give more power, more control to our community members over their healthcare journey by having these conversations before they end up in the healthcare system.
The free session, led by palliative care coaches, will help participants complete their advanced care plan in a supportive group setting.
We're going to make sure that everybody leaving the conference and the session is going to be able to identify who their substitute decision maker is. That's the person that would make a decision for you if you could no longer mentally do so for yourself. And then again, what we hope is that people will leave with resources that helps you to kind of document, again, your values, your wishes, your beliefs.
There will also be a voluntary research component to determine if advanced care planning discussions can be effectively conducted in a group setting instead of in a doctor's office. The findings will be shared at a province-wide conference in the spring.
Can we share this throughout the province and be a model for other communities? And do the advanced care plans get completed in the sessions? Do participants share it with their family physicians and their substitute decision makers? So we're really hoping that this can be a model that can grow, and it's from Northern Ontario, so it's a wonderful opportunity for our community.
The workshop will be taking place right here at the United Steelworkers Hall on Tuesday, November 25th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Registration is required and the deadline has been extended to this Sunday. You can reserve your spot by calling Maison McCullough Hospice directly or online at the hospice's website. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
A Sudbury mother is sharing her experience with well-meaning strangers while shopping at a local big box store. Her issue is over concerns surrounding allergies and the spread of respiratory illnesses. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Danielle Christensen was shopping at a big box store on Monday with two of her children.
An elderly woman approached us and she tried to touch Dawson, and I gently said, please don't touch him, he's allergic to peanuts. She immediately was so sorry and backed off and kept interacting with him, which is totally fine.
She said they continued to shop, and when they arrived at the food court, a husband and wife began interacting with 15-month-old Dawson and 3-year-old Daisy.
They were being absolutely lovely until he touched Dawson's face, and it happened so fast that I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth.
She then took the children to the washroom where the third incident took place.
As I'm changing him, she came out of the stall, came up behind me and grabbed his face, to which I responded, "Hey, he's allergic to nuts, please don't touch him." And she's like, "Well, he's just so cute."
She says incidents like this happen most of the time when they are out in the community, so she decided to share the experience on social media.
I've had a lot of moms reach out saying that they've had the same experience and that they're fearful of bringing their infants out to the stores, and this shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be afraid to bring our kids in public because somebody they don't know or we don't know is going to touch them and potentially cause harm with RSV, colds, the flu.
Officials with Public Health Sudbury and District say everyone has a role to play in limiting the spread of viruses.
That means staying up to date with your vaccines. The flu and COVID-19 vaccines are now available in the community for everyone above 6 months of age. The RSV vaccine is also available for eligible individuals. Cover your cough and sneezes with a tissue and immediately discard the tissue in the garbage and wash your hands.
As for Christensen, she says it's all about awareness and that ultimately it's all about respect, which means asking first. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Changes are coming to a popular online game in a bid to make it safer for kids. More in a moment. The popular online game Roblox is making some major changes, including a new chat feature that restricts messaging to people around the same age as the gamer. The move comes as Roblox continues to face criticism and lawsuits in several countries over child safety issues. The change follows the company's introduction of an age estimation tool. That feature requires players to take a video selfie, which is deleted after it verifies age. Users can still access the platform without submitting a face scan, but are unable to access the chat function. Well, the nights are getting longer and colder, which can only mean that the Greater Sudbury Santa Claus Parade is almost here. Parade officials shared that the parade will have an enhanced kids experience with a coloring contest, and Canada Post workers will pick up children's letters to Santa. Officials with the Santa Claus Parade also shared the judging criteria for the 68 registered floats.
The criteria for the floats and for the judging is show a lot of energy, play some music, and make sure that you're on theme and you're really celebrating the Christmas movie that you chose as part of your float.
Chuck LaBelle is the parade's musical grand marshal, who said he is very excited to kick off the parade and set the tone for the party.
I'm probably going to do bilingually with some French and English content, so everybody will recognize the song and everybody's going to be happy.
The Sudbury Santa Claus Parade is set to begin at 5:30 p.m. November 22nd, this Saturday after the fireworks. This will give Santa and his reindeer plenty of time to come from the Sault Ste. Marie Parade, which starts at 5, also on the 22nd. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. Well, Sudbury will be the only Northern Ontario stop for a pretty big upcoming country music concert tour.
Hurry up, preacher, I'm telling y'all you should be fishing.
Country music star Lee Brice has announced his Canadian tour dates for his Sunrisers tour next year, which includes a stop in the north. Brice, along with special guests Brett Kissel and Grace Taylor, will hit the stage at the Sudbury Community Arena Wednesday, April 22nd.
And what makes it extra special is that Lee Brice has never been to Sudbury before. This is a brand new act coming to the Nickel City. Brett Kissel, he's been here in years past. Always an awesome show. So that's just going to add to the fact. And then an up-and-comer with Grace Tyler means that this is a recipe for an awesome night.
Tickets go on sale this Friday online and at the Sudbury Arena box office at 10 a.m. Well, finally tonight, students at George Brown Polytechnic showed off their baking skills today as part of an annual holiday competition. CTV's Allison Hurst got a first-hand look at their gingerbread houses.
These gingerbread houses, based on students' favorite movies or books, were hardly a piece of cake.
Almost 105 pieces, not including the royal icing that I did separately.
Doreen Yazzie created a home based on the one in Charles Dickens' The Christmas Carol, wanting to capture the warmth of the holidays.
There were times, I made it, and I was like, oh no, it's not coming together. Okay, another time. So yes, I've written like 72 hours, but that's definitely more than that.
Every part of each of these 33 submissions had to be edible, except the lights.
Carrot legs themselves are pretzels that I cut down.
Holly Schlam's inspiration for Gusto's from the movie Ratatouille came from her 3 months spent working at a 2-star Michelin restaurant in France.
I worked at the restaurant where Gusto's was inspired. I worked at Chef Paul Bocuse's restaurant in Lyon, and Gusto's directly inspired by Chef Paul Bocuse himself.
It includes a peek inside to see the rats hard at work and the seating for the restaurant.
Well done to our 33 students who have carefully got their houses to these tables today.
This competition at George Brown Polytechnic's Chef School has been going on since 2008.
It's as unique as each student, and the level of creativity is phenomenal.
Instructor Sue Fleming says students create them in their spare time at home, and they're not for marks. They're judged on things like cleanliness, complexity, and variety of skill. The winner takes home a $2,000 prize.
It really adds something to the college vibe. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I appreciate them stepping up.
Students don't make these in a snap.
It took me 5 days to put together, but I've been thinking about it for a month maybe.
Juana Guillo created the home from Encanto.
I'm Colombian, and as soon as I watched the movie, it was like a no-brainer. I knew I had to do that one. I love the colors, the flowers. It just represents really well where I'm from.
The winning submission was Quinn Herndon's Grand Budapest Hotel.
The front is like the main story, what the hotel looks like in the main plot, and then the other side is the version of the hotel, in the modern day, when the story's being told.
With each tiny window carefully outlined.
I fell in love with the hotel and the artistry of the people who made this.
Artistry certainly on display here too, proving these students don't crumble under the pressure. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
That takes us to the end of our newscast this Tuesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.